Okay, for today we're going to do this one together. Like we should have done it at home yesterday, so it's a good thing to check how you're doing. Some of you already did it. Like I know Jamie did it yesterday during class tutorial. That's good. So this one is this one. So I want to remind you also, since I'm already here recording this, if you haven't done the three hearts, it is a test grade. Yesterday, some of you stayed, but I want you to understand that entering the answers and submitting is not going to be sufficient for me. This Friday, I'm collecting the journals and I'm going to look for your work. So yesterday tutorial, I kept a bunch of kids after tutorial, and I said, show me the work, and there was nothing. So I had to call home and tell the parents that they're gonna keep their fading grade because basically they're cheating them. Guys, it's really easy to get the answers. If you want the answers, I'll give them to you. If that's what you care about, just put in answers to get high score, I will give them to you. And you'll get the 100 because I'm giving them the answers. But when I collect your journal on Friday, that 100 is gonna become back a what? A zero. Because de que te sirve que sacaste un 100, and that's why I'm recording this so you can hear it too, and the thing and your parents can hear it. De que me sirve que sacaste un 100 if you still do not really know what you're doing. Now I have kids that do know what they're doing, but it takes time. Like yesterday I had a kid that told me, sir, but I did it, I know what I'm doing. I said, okay, stay with me, and we went problem by problem, and he explained all the problems, and he does know what to do. So I told him this, sir, do you think it's fair for me to take 130 journals during the weekend? And then when I get to yours that is empty, for me to try to guess what you were thinking, am I gonna call you and waste more? Like, am I gonna call you during the weekend and be doing? Ya estoy tomándome todo el tiempo de checar todo the turns, and then you want me to call you for you to explain every problem like we took forever there in the front. Yesterday I took a good 15 minutes, one by one. I like, how did you do this one? He explained it. No, I did this. So I told him, you're doing everything perfectly, so why don't you show me the journal so that I know that it's not that somebody gave you the answer, that it's not that somebody that you guess. You know what I mean? That's the purpose of the journal for me, so I can see, si le entiende este muchacho. Me siento a gusto, yeah, I feel good about him, I don't have to worry. But if I see your journal empty and you've got 100 or an 81 or a 97, but your journal's empty, it's hard to believe that you're able to complete that assignment with no work. And then I have kids that say, I have my work, but I threw it in the trash. So I told them, okay, get some gloves and get it out of the trash to see if it's true. No había nada. Fucking mucha mentira. Okay? Just be honest. You need to do the work. So right now I'm going to show you the work that you're supposed to be doing one more time in case you're confused. Okay? Because yesterday kids think, I don't know why we think that schooling, teaching, learning is about me trying to score high grades. No, schooling is about me getting better every day at something that I didn't understand. Me learning something new and say, oh, now I know how to do these equations. Now I know how to substitute a variable for a number and then solve it to see if it's true. Now I know how to create an equation. Eso es lo que se trata de aprender. Saber cómo usar la cabeza. Because when you get older, you're going to have to make decisions. And you see, sometimes kids will say, in math, they'll say, sir, when are we going to use this? You're right. We might never use it. But one thing that you're always going to use is your head. You're always going to have to know how to process, how to think, how to go step by step to solve problems either with your marriage, with your finances, with your home, with your health. You have to make decisions and you have to use your what? Your head. So I know something about math for sure. Math makes you think. Math is systematic. It makes you go through processes step by step. So by you starting to become that and become disciplined with that, you're gonna be better in life to make decisions. You say, okay, should I buy these boots that I really want, but I don't have really money and I have to make a lot of payments? No, I'm not gonna buy them anymore because I really don't need them. That's really a want. Should I buy this new house that I only make this amount of money every month? But the payment is gonna be that way. Am I gonna have enough to not buy food and all that? No, that's called like budgeting. So hay que hacer decisiones pensando. Y cuando tú no haces trabajo, pues no me ayuda a mí. ¿Okay? Y no te ayuda a ti porque luego llega el test, el benchmark de que vamos tomando el gym de vuelta y vas a estar nomás viendo el problema de nuevo, no sabes qué hacer porque te dieron las respuestas cuando debías de tú practicar cómo hacerlas. Okay? It's important that even if you're at home, sometimes your friends like, no, you got it. Y te da todas las answers. No, no tampoco te ayuda. It's good to help, and I told kids help them, but don't give them the answer. Like explain, look, here's how I do it, and then let him try one. Okay? So all that is just me telling you. You can forward that if you don't want to hear me again explaining about the importance of showing me your work. But you were supposed to do this one yesterday. We're gonna do it together. So all of us should score 100. This is what's funny too. I'm going to tell you that all of us should score 100, and we'll have kids that still do not score 100, which is really scary to me. This year is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Yesterday I had a kid that failed the test with a 68, and I went over the ones that she missed, and two of the ones that she missed, I did them on the what? On the video. So if she would have just watched the video and taken time, those two that she missed would have made her pass on the test. Instead of getting a 68, she would have gotten a 75 or something like that, a mid 70. And I'm like, why? Te estoy regalando una y ni así quieres ver el video. Ya te dije ayer cómo le hagas to forward it to the part that you need to learn and then play it. You don't have to play the whole thing. Anyway, so this is the one we're going to do together so we can all score 100, I hope. So open it up. And I'm going to show you how you can use things here. If you don't want to show the work in things that are easy, you can show me the work through here. Okay? So, slide 1. It says, what is the dependent quantity in the table? So before I need to know who's independent dependent. So to show the work that I know how to do that and not just get the answer, because it's real easy. So Mr. Rivera can feel confident that I do know how to do this. I want all of you to go to this little box here. See that one? If you don't want to do it in the journal, then you show me here. Go to this little box and put add text. It becomes blue. Go anywhere where it says show the work and just make it big. Drag it, holding it down, se hace grande. Now I'm gonna put first X. And who's the X always in math? Independent or dependent? Independent. Good. So I'm gonna put independent para que se vea, para que yo ya sé que the X is always independent. Now that I did that, you see how it has lines here in the corner? I'm going to drag para que se haga nomás exactly what I need. Questions with that? Now, I'm going to click so I can become, so I don't have to do it again and type again. I'm going to click, put the little hand on top of the gray, put the little hand on top of the gray, and click inside the gray. Then hold the control button down and press the letter D as in dog, D. And guess what? You just duplicated that. Why did I do that? Because I'm going to change now this to X to become what? Y. Because that's the other variable, right? And what should we eliminate from the word independent? What do we delete from the word good? So X is independent, Y is dependent. Question with that part. Now, since the next two questions are about that same thing, I'm going to click on the gray and I'm going to duplicate twice. You have to click and then again. And then drag them. Because we're going to need them for the next one. And guess what I'm going to do here? Twice again. 1, click on the box. 2, for the next questions, así ya las tengo listas para cuando vaya para allá. Got it? Now, let's call Axel. Where do I put this one? On games or balls blocked? Good. Is he correct?
Yes.
The dependent. Carla? Good. So the left side of the table is always your independent X. The right side is always your dependent Y. Y depends on X. The balls that you block depends on how many games you played. Okay? Question with that part? Now that I already gave you that, go answer the question on your own. I'm giving you the answer. By me putting those two labels there, you should know which one to choose. Now they want you to choose you can get the highlighter, change the color to something better like green or pink, whatever you want, and highlight what they want. They want dependent quantity. Aquí está la highlighter, aquí están los colores. You can highlight. When you're gonna choose the answer, you do need to click on this little box, guys, the cursor, so you can be able to click on your answer. Got it? Let's go now to the graph. Andrea, where do I drag the independent box? Good, on H, on the hour, so right there, más o menos. Josue, where would I drag the Y dependent? On the M, which is the miles. Acá en este lado. So in a graph, the x-axis, this one, the one goes right to left is always the independent. The one that goes up and down is always the dependent. Questions with that? Now go choose your answers. De esos trágaselos para abajo para el último. ¿Mande? Pues escógele, ya te puse yo la answer para putting the labels, ahora tú escoge. ¿Qué es lo que quieres de vuelta? Depende. Yeah, you can highlight, change the color you want. Así se hace highlight. Pones la cruz arriba y luego le das para abajo y así se hace highlight. Pones la cruz arriba, you drag it down and then you hold it down y así se hace highlight. Okay? Did you all get number 2? Number 3, Michael, where do I put the Y in the table? And where? Very good. Jose Alvarez, where do I put the last time? Here. Where do I put the independent? My bad. Good, yeah, you're right. I said it wrong, the question. Now that we put the labels in the table, go choose the one that they want. And this one, do they still want dependent again? No. The highlighted, again, you hold down the button and then you just drag. They want the independent. I usually like to change it to like the pink, the yellow, green, the light blue, because those are like lights that you can see. You're going to be using highlighting in future makes. Question with 1, 2, 3. By me doing the work, I basically gave you the answers. ¿De qué nos está diciendo ahorita? No sé qué pensar. Click on this guy now again. This one lets us move, control things. So this is your main one that you should always have highlighted that cursor. Next one. I notice that some kids are still having trouble with graphing. So I'm going to remind you of things. Okay? So please listen. When we're graphing, your first move should be from the origin. So move your mouse to the middle, and your cursor's there. Muévalo ahí. And your first move should be to the right or to the left. That's it. No debes de irte para arriba y para abajo. Some of you like to go quickly down and then no. You're supposed to go on the x-axis first to the right or to the left. And then we can go up or down. Questions? So, ¿de dónde vas a empezar siempre? Origin. Go on to mouse, like when you're taking the start test, pon the cursor there y dice, lo que voy a empezar allí. Now I'm gonna need to get to this point, right? So where do I move? To the right or left? How many units do I move? 5? 1, 2, 3. Párate ahí, no muevas nada. Ya sé que the x for this point, the x is who? I can go and say, okay, x, you're 3. And you're positive because I went to the right side. You're positive because you went to the right side. Now I am not done yet. Todavía llego al punto. Now I need to go up or down. Down. How many units? 1, 2. Now, since I went down, what type of number is it? Negative 2. So I'm going to go over here and say negative 2. This is the first order pair. Now, how do you write it? You really write that point like this. You don't have to do this, but I'm just trying to show you. 3, comma, negative 2. That is a cornet, an order pair. Some of you have the habit of going down first and then like that. No, it's always right or left and then up and down. Bless you. Let's try the next one. So let's go with Dominic. Put your cursor there and tell me where to move, right or left, sir? Left? How much? Okay, let's move 5 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you think I'm gonna hit any points on that side?
No.
No. Reset. Go back to 0, sir. Let's try again. Right or left? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's your first move always? X or Y? So how much did you move on the X? So the X has become 5. So you see this number there? It would have become 5. We don't have to do it. I'm just trying to teach you that that's what you're doing order pairs. Now, sir, your second move is always what? Up or what?
Down.
Down. So you tell me, do I go up or down? Do I go up and down? Okay, how much do I go up? 1? Okay, let me go up 1. 1. Do you see something there, sir? The reset? Do I go up and down? No. We don't do nothing. And when you don't do nothing, what number is nothing?
0.
When I tell you don't have nothing in the bank account, what does that mean? You have what? 0. Well, it means that too, yes. But at least you don't know money, right? You're not that broke. Dominic, whenever you move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you don't go nowhere, you don't go up or down, guess what? That is 0. Let's start from the origin, and let's go now with Richard. And I'm teaching you how to use the computer so that in the start test, you use the cursor like I'm doing it. Some of you want to quickly get the answer, and that's the problem. Richard, how much do I move to get the third point? Huh? Good. Positive or negative? And that means right or left? Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's correct. So X is what? X is what? 6. I can go and say, okay, good. X is 6. And then put your cursor where you're at. You're at 6. Are you in the point yet? Are you in the coordinate yet? No. So now, Richard, the Y, up or down? How much? Not about 1. You see the 1? It's only 1. So positive or negative? Because you went up. When is it negative? When you go down. And the x-axis, when is it negative? Left. Good job. Okay. Gabriel, you're going to answer this one before you go, sir. Starting from the origin. No, you can stay there. Just tell me, how much do I move? For that last point, sir. Good. To the right or left? Right there, 7. Positive or negative? Good. And then up or down? How much? 2. So who's the x? Who's the y? Questions? Good. Once you do this, I have my table, but they want to what now? An equation. So whenever you have a graph, we need to make a table, guys. When you have a graph, we need to make a table. Simple as that. Now in your journal, This is slide 2, number 2, right? Or number what? 6?
No, we already did the 3 from the first last 4.
Okay, it's number 4, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and get your journal. You already have the table for me. No sé por qué apenas están sacando, te dije.
The journal or the paper that's in the
Homework journal. Right now that paper we're gonna use it for something else. If we get to it, if not, pues nomás se van a quedar ahí. Slide what? What I'm doing right now? Slide 2, number what? 4. We already did the table, right? Thanks to the graph. So give me the numbers that we just put there because you have it in your computer. Huh? Then you don't have to redo it, so I'm not gonna make you do it again. Who's the x? 3. The y? -2. Next. 0. 0 de vuelta.
No, este era 5.
5.
No,
No, el otro era 5, sir.
Ah, pues ustedes
Este era
dicen.
5 y el otro era 0.
You know where I'm getting this? You have it, guys. We just did it right there. That's where I'm getting the tape, okay? 5-0, my bad. So you guys give me that. Next. Huh? 6-1. Next. 7-2. Next. That's it. They want me to create an equation. That means I need to find the relationship, the rule between 3 and -2, between 5 and 0, 6 and 1, 7 and 2. Now, some of us have a hard time with the negatives, right? Some of us have a hard time with the negatives. So what would I do if I want to find the rule faster? Work with the positives. So I'm going to skip this guy for now, and I'm going to work with the positives. How can a 5 become a 0? -5. You see this that you wrote here? That is called the rule, the function. This is the rule. Now I'm going to create the equation. I'm going to go y equals x minus 5. And before I punch it in and box it as my answer, I'm going to test it to see if it's true. I'm going to use the positive row, and then I'll go and use the negative at the end so you can see that it does work with this one. You see that 5? You see that x? That 5 is the x. So I'm going to put it here. What's 5 minus 5? The y is 0. Is it true? Yes. Who's the next x here? So put it there. What's 6 minus 5?
1.
And who's the y? So it worked again. Who's the next x?
7.
What's 7 minus 5?
2.
Is that 2? Yes. Now let's do this one so you can see that it also works. But I'm going to actually change it now. Who's the y in the first one?
3.
Go read the table, guys.
-2.
-2. Who's the x in the first one? 3. Oh, we're working with minus and negatives. What rule would this be?
Diff.
Diff. And what do you do when it's diff? We
Yeah.
subtract
Yeah.
and we keep the greatest, that means greater than, absolute value. So what's 5 minus 3?
5. Positive.
What's 5 minus 3? 2. Bring everything down. Now, is it positive or negative? Why negative? Because the 5 has the highest absolute value, that's why it's negative. Did they match? So is my equation right? Yes, it worked with all of them. Now that I did my work on the journal or on the paper, if you're taking the STAR test or a benchmark, that's what you're supposed to do. When the work has to be done, it has to be done. Okay? You don't do mental math. Now I can go back to the computer and say, okay, now I'm going to punch in the equation. You click in the box, make sure that you have this one so you'll be able to click on things. Y equals, we said what? X minus 5 Close the box and you're done with that table, that equation. Questions with that one? The next one. The table below shows the relationship between the amount of money raised for 7 boxes of cookies. Write an equation. They want an equation again. So guess what I'm going to have to use again? The table, the journal. So you have the table for me so you guys can help me out, okay? Ready?
Yep.
Number 5. This is slide 2 todavía. And the date, by the way, was yesterday's date, 2/12. Put the dates for me, because I'm going to pick up the journals every Friday. Yeah, that's how I'm going to be able to spot it. Give me the table.
Okay.
What's the first letter here?
X.
X, and then?
Y.
Y. Give me the numbers.
10.
10 with
30.
30.
20.
20 with
60.
60. Ese me confundo con eso en español.
Bueno.
Then?
30. Ya no sé qué.
Yeah, but you did good. 30 with 90.
40.
40. 120. Anything else? No. Do we choose the last one? No. You know why we don't do this strategy here? Because they did not give you a what? Did they give you an equation?
No.
They want you to come up with one. So how do I come up with one? I'm going to find the rule. What's the rule here? How does a 10 become a 30?
Times 3.
Times 3, he says. That's what he says. Let's check if it's true. So let's write the equation. Y equals what?
3x.
3x. Very good. Or for the ones that still are confused, y equals x times, not point, 3. Because point va a ser un décimo. Me gusta más esta para decirles la verdad, pero si quieren esta también está trabajo. Let's test it. Who's the first x of that table? 10. 3 times 10.
30.
Is that what the y was? The next one. Who's the next? 20. What's 20 times 3?
60.
It worked again. One more. What's 30 times 3?
90.
It worked again. So guess what? Do we have the right equation? Yes, we do. Click y equals 3x.
Or y equals x times 3.
Or yes, we can do that one too. By the way, when you do that one, since you mentioned that one before, when you do the times, it's going to be x shift 8. Shift 8. Then the dot comes out in the star. Shift 8. But some of you are putting this for me. That's not a dot product. That's a decimal. Shift 8, which is a little star, will give you the dot. Of course, the dot is also here. Look what it says, dot product. That's the real dot for times. But this probably won't be on the star, so that's why I'm teaching how to use the keyboard. Shift 8 is the dot. Questions? So you can do it that way also. I like mejor 3x. A number next to 11. Questions with that one? The next one. What did they give me? A table. And what are the choices? Equations. Thank you. So, number 6, the last one. Yesterday we already learned this. Well, we should have learned it when I wasn't here, but some of you did not do anything. Yesterday I learned that if I have a table and my choices are equations, that I'm going to be able to do the substitution method. That I'm going to change the letters to what? No, the letters are variables. What do you change the letters to?
Numbers.
To numbers. Now, what I learned yesterday in tutorials that some of us don't want to do all the little steps. You want a shortcut. And I was sharing with you that Mr. Rivera since college, I don't know if I share with this class. Since college, This is my paper skin. I have a bunch of them, but I found this one yesterday because I was cleaning. I'm like, ah, déjame sacar estos. I bought a stack of papers of college, of all my tests in college. And they're always like this. And one year I brought them not to show off, but because kids told me, ay, sir, ¿es verdad que siempre acá tienes? Sí, es verdad. So entonces I went to my garage and I took out a box with all my college stuff and I brought all my papers of all my tests, exam number 2, and I brought them all and showed them all to the kids that I would always score 90s and hundreds. Really, it was always hundreds. All my tests that I showed, nomás que no se buscar los demás, no se entraban, pues, como dejo cosas por todas partes. Este lo encontré ayer, dije, ah, qué bueno que me encontré uno. Tengo un montón aquí, somewhere in this class.
How did you get 107?
Right now, I'll explain that. In college, they give what's called bonuses. Okay? So it was a 10-point bonus. I didn't get the full bonuses, but I got 9 points out of the bonus. They deducted 8 points with one of my works. I wasn't careful with our integer rules, with the negatives and positives. But here's my point with what I'm going to tell you right now. Yesterday, during tutorial, I had an 8th grader, well, 7th grader taking an 8th grade class, a pre-algebra student. And she told me, Mr. Rivera, I'm real confused with this one. And I said, you know why you're confused? Because you want a shortcut. That's not how I taught you last year, mija. I said to go step by step by step, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. But some of you want to quickly see something easy, you want to quickly already do it. No, you go step by step. And that's why I brought this up, because since college I've been like that. If you look at my work, I've always been like that. Step by step, box the answer. Step by step, box the answer. Step, ese estaba bien fácil, pues box the answer. Some of them are easy. Step by step, box the answer. Esta estaba bien larga. Step by step, by step, by step, box the answer. No me arranco rápido. Ah, déjame hacer un montón de cosas por todas partes. Va organizado. Proportions, I've always been doing proportions. I love proportions. They've always been helping me. Here's your proportions, cross products. Of course, you're not seeing the work on the side because I am doing now by this time college. I am doing mental math. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm still going organization-wise, step by step. Aquí es donde la regué, because of the negatives. When you do negatives, they become, it reverses because it becomes a decimal, a fraction. So I forgot to reverse it. Y por eso me quitaron 2 puntos. Okay? This is from 1922, okay? Porque yo tengo 90 años. 1922. It was March of 1922. Por eso está amarillo. I hit the root date para que no sepan. Porque si les digo the root date van a saber mi edad. Tengo 90. Pero mi punto de esto es que Mr. Rivera siempre ha sido organizado en esa manera, step by step by step, box the answer, step, box the answer. Nunca, no, I've always done, order pairs. Why order pairs también hay order pairs. Okay, están los order pairs. Okay, X and who, Y. X and who, Y. Substitution, I've always substituted too, which is what I'm showing you right now. But some of us want to shortcut. Voy a buscar los demás, van a ser todos así. Yo siempre les digo, go step, bring it down, because I know eventually you're gonna need it. If you're planning to go to college, then you better focus. If you're not planning to go to college, well, this will help you at least to become a better what? Thinker. Math is gonna give you 2 things. There was a teacher, it's not a nice thing to say, but one time in high school, a student said, Miss Parker, well, ya dije el nombre de la teacher, no, Miss Parker, when are we going to use the Pythagoras theorem? Never. When are we going to use that in life? Miss Parker went over to the teacher and says, you're right, Pepito. It was not Pepito, I'm making it up that one because I want to say it in real name. You're right, Pepito. You'll never use it because you'll be at Burger King having your way. Yes, you're right. Some of us will never use some of these formulas because we're not going to use it, and that's okay. But one thing you're going to use is organization, how to think, and how to do things. So if you learn something, at least learn that. But if you're trying to go to college, every single profession, nurse, doctors, I don't care what profession, you're going to have to take math classes. And some of the nurses, that's why they cannot graduate with their nursing degrees because they can never pass college algebra, which is the one that I was showing you right there. That was college algebra. They never pass that class y por eso no pueden pasar y no pueden seguir con su carrera de enfermera. If you're a police officer, you're gonna have to take a math class.
Why?
Border patrol. Why? When you have a case that you have to measure how fast the guy was driving with skid marks, you better know how to do math. Okay? And I know that because most of my family members are in the law enforcement world. And they would call me whenever they had to take those tests to become a police officer. Some of the questions, it's called a TCLOS, I think, are math questions. So if you're planning to become a professional in life, teacher, doctor, lawyer, I don't care what profession, guess what? You're going to have to take a math test.
So you're 49 years
Okay?
old?
Huh?
You're 49 years old?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir,
Sir, how
because
old are
I am not 49,
You
sir.
were
I
born
am
in
90.
1974.
Nah, hombre, pobrecito. You're way off, sir.
May of
You're
1974.
67.
Okay, let's continue now. Ready? Copy the table. This is number what, guys? 6. Copy the table. Number 6. Give me the table. Who's on this side, guys?
A.
No.
Oh, M.
We have to use what the table says, M. Now we can say that this is considered X. We can put that on top for us to know. Who's the other letter?
G.
And who's what we know?
Y.
Y. But we really need the M and G. We can't put X and Y when they give you letters already. You understand? First set of numbers.
0.
With who?
100.
Next set. With who?
40. No, 94.
Por eso lo agrego yo.
4.
It's 2 and 94.
88. 6. 82.
82?
Yes.
76, no sabes cómo leer, hombre.
8.
8?
76.
Perfect. We're okay? This is a table they gave me. Now, Mr. Rivera yesterday told you that when they give you a table and your choices are equations, we're going to use the what? The choices, right? Didn't I say that yesterday? So I'm going to use the choices, so help me out. What's choice A? Give me the equation for choice A.
It's G equals 3M.
Thank you.
Number next to a letter means multiply.
But look, I'm already starting the college stuff. My first step was to write my equation. Second step is to use the table. What numbers did I tell you to use when you have a table? The last 2. Now I don't start doing mental math here, and that's what I saw yesterday. Kids want to start doing mental math. I start substituting the letter for the number. So you see the G. Go to your table and tell me who the G is in this table that we 76. Why that one? Because that's the last one that we want. Bring everything down, stop right there because I have another letter. A number next to a letter means times, so I'm going to put parentheses for times. And what's the letter for M in the table? 8. Now that I have everything there, now let's calculate 3 times 8. Bring everything down.
76.
Are they equal? They're not equivalent, and that's why choice A is not the equation for this table. If you look at it, it's like my paper. Right? It's like my papers. They go step by step. And you see those little things that I have, those marks, those are like my carrots, because like by college you will be doing mental math. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, you're gonna get good, they're gonna be able to say, oh, this means this means that. I'm gonna even show you how to do it later on. Okay? Okay. Choice B is next, because A was not the choice. Give me the choice B equation.
G equals 100 minus 3M.
So this is a more tough equation, but I'm gonna still do the same thing step by step. The first step is to change all those variables to the numbers from the table. If there's not a table, there'll be a graph, and then the graph, you'll make the table. So you're always going to need the table when we're making equations. Who's the G?
26.
Bring everything down, bring everything down, bring everything down. Oh, a number next to a letter means? Put the parentheses or multiply. Someone used to put in the x's and then you get all confused. Who's the M?
Teachers, at this moment, please post your attendance. Thank you.
PEMDAS.
Teachers,
Three
at
times
this moment, please post your attendance. Thank you.
Why did I multiply first? PEMDAS. We don't subtract first, we multiply first. What's 3 times 8? 24. Now look, I'm not calculating, bring everything down. Bring everything down. Bring everything down. Nunca empieces a calcular. Vete paso por paso. Who's next?
100 minus 24.
Thank you. Now that one, I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to calculate that. This becomes 10, this becomes 9, this becomes 0. This is 6, this is 7. Bring everything down, bring everything down. Are they equal?
Yes.
Box the answer because this is the answer. The answer is B. I feel confident, but since we're doing the strategy of substitution, I have to try all the choices. You better not stop there. Letter C, give me the equation. We already know that's B. I already boxed the answer. I feel confident it's B. Pero si en caso sale otra que también trabaja, entonces vamos a tener que usar otro set of numbers. That's why we want to always try all the choices. Letter C, give me the equation.
G
Who's the G?
76. 8.
Who's the M? 8 plus 6. 14. Are they equal? Not equivalent. That's not the answer. I am done with choice C. And finally, choice D. The one correct. Choice D. Choice D.
M equals 6 minus G.
There you go.
That one's
6 minus G. Yes? Who's the M? 8. Who's the G? 76. Calculate those. That is going to be diff. Right? Because positive and what? Negative. What's 76 minus 6? 70. Positive or negative? Negative 70. Do they match? Yes?
No.
They're not equal. That's why D is not the answer. So please, when we're doing equations, we go step by step. Your first step, change all the letters to numbers, and then we can use PEMDAS and the integer rules if there's negatives, and you'll find out if they're equal or not. Pero lo que pasa es que no quieren trabajar.
You've been served. You're going to court. I'll see you in court in 3 days.
Perfect. Choose the answer, guys, while I sign my court documents. When you have tables and equations, this is the strategy that I want you to use. Okay? So on the tests from yesterday, well, from last week when I was not here because I was at home recovering from COVID. Okay? Let me tell you, and let me see if we can identify these. Okay? What I just did right now, while it's loading, what I just did that table and equations that I use all the choices and I always use the last step. Tell me what problems are like that. If we're taking the start test, the one señorita problem 1, 2, and you're gonna tell me, yes, that's gonna be like that, sir. Ready? Let's see if we learned anything how to identify them. Can I use the strategy that I used with this one? Yes. Table and what? Equations. Can I use the strategy again?
Yes.
Table and equations. Can I use the strategy again?
Yes.
Yes. But they gave an expression, so you're going to make an equation by just putting equal K, equal K, equal K. This one, equal M. But I can still use it. You will use the last two and change the letters to numbers, and then go step by step. Next one. Could I use the same strategy? No. What's the equation? Where's the equation? So no. This is probably going to be about me creating a table and an equation, or independent and dependent. This one is about independent and dependent. Next one. Could I use the strategy of the last two and do the equation thing? Yes, porque mira, ahí están las tables y ahí están las que equations. Change the letter to number. Could I do it again? Yes, tables and equations. Tables and equations. We always use the last two. The last two are the choices. Can I do it again?
Yes. No.
Do you see an equation? No. So you're gonna have to graph it. You're gonna have to make a table out of it. You're gonna have to do something else. But it's not that strategy about me using the substitution. That one?
Yes.
I don't have the equation.
No.
No. You have to do the rules and you need to make the equation in this one. That's what I want you to know. Like, see it and decide. Vamos a agarrar otro libro. Para ver si está agarrando la onda finally. At least about this, and then we go on. Let me see, what is it? I have so many things here that I can't even see. Again, que se puede abrir. Ready? Vamos a agarrar el coach. We'll be about two. While it loads that, let's go to this one. Slide 3. Slide 3. Ready? Okay. On the other paper that Mr. Rivera gave you, copy the table. Put number 1 and copy that table. On the one Mr. Rivera just gave you, copy that table. The one that's on the first one. Got it?
That's right?
I'm going to do the work here, the one that you're doing in your thing. Copy the table. I'm going to do it over here myself, okay? Ready? Finally, here we go. You already copied the table? Now we're going to go draw your arrow. And how would a 1 become a -5? There's two ways that a 1 can become a -5. I can subtract, or I can multiply by a negative, use the Dorito man. So what do you think we should do? Multiply or subtract? Multiply. By how much? By -5. Very good, sir. Why -5? Because 1 times -5 will give you 5, but then the Dorito man, remember that? Positive and negative, the answer is going to stay what? Negative. Let's test the next one. What's 2 times -5? -10. What's 4 times -5? -20. What's 5 times -5? -25. This negative makes that positive a negative, because if you have a positive and a negative, you have a positive and a negative, the answer stays what? Negative. So the only way that you have negatives on the y side is if you multiply by a negative or you subtract. Do you understand? If your x are all positives, and your y's are negatives, you need to multiply by a negative or subtract. Questions? In this case, we multiply by a what? Negative. So I hope that you copied what I just put in pink. Now let's make the equation. Y equals what? Negative 5x. Beautiful. Or y equals x times negative 5. Not minus 5, because that would be subtraction. We're multiplying. We need to put the dot there. Now let's put it in here. Y equals, how do I put the negative symbol in this one? We can go to the minus here. 5. Okay. There. Questions? Yes, sir. Good job. Or legs. Ahí está. Thank you, sir. Questions? Now that you know how to do that for homework on the loose leaf paper, you're going to do number 2, number 3. And I'm going to pick it up. So you're going to copy the table. Now look at this one. Be careful with this one because not everything becomes negative. So you have to think. Okay? When you have positives, work with the positives. Like I did in the video. I have one like that in the video that we work first with the positives to figure out the root.
Number 2 is like the one that you did for number.
For the video.
Ya me
Yes.
salí, ya me salí equation.
Or number
Good,
4,
no lo
sir?
digas.
Number 4 was the one that you did, right, sir? It was. It's
No me
like,
acuerdo.
Sí, pero sí la puedo
yeah,
poner.
you did number 4. It's the same.
And then this one is the last one. You will do these 3 questions for homework on the loose leaf paper. And then I'll pick up the loose leaf paper of these 3 questions. We already did this one together. Now you have to do this one and this one. There is a negative and negative, so you have to be careful. So you're finding something with minus or times negative again. Be careful. And then check. Okay? And that's for homework. Let me stop the video. And now